Picture this. It's 2025, but instead of doom scrolling on TikTok, you're doom scrolling on Reich Talk because the Nazis won World War II. The internet? Probably called the AriaNet. Starbucks? Hitlerbucks. Serving only black coffee because milk is for the weak. But how did we get here? Let's rewind to the moments where history almost took a very, very bad turn. So Hitler's bombing Britain, right? The RAF is hanging by a thread. But then, like a guy who starts a diet and immediately eats a cake, Hitler gets distracted. Instead of finishing off airfields, he bombs London because nothing says strategic genius like making the British angrier. But what if he hadn't? And if the Nazis had crushed the RAF, they might have invaded. Churchill would have been out replaced by some Nazi puppet king. Probably Edward VIII, though, who was basically the original simp for Hitler. Hitler invades Russia like a tourist who didn't check the weather. His troops freeze, starve, and get wrecked by Siberian grandmas with rifles. But what if he'd just listened to his generals? Focused on Moscow? Maybe Stalin falls and instead of Red Square we get Swastika Square. Now imagine if Japan hadn't bombed Pearl Harbor. The US stays out of the war, busy selling Coca-Cola and pretending Europe isn't on fire. No D-Day, no Captain America, just Uncle Sam shrugging like, not my problem. With Britain surrendered and the USSR crushed, Hitler's empire stretches from the Atlantic to the Urals. Poland wiped off the map, its people exterminated or enslaved, its cities renamed. Warsaw is now Warschau, a model German city built atop mass graves. Ukrainians, reduced to serfs working collective farms for German settlers. The Volga Germans, exiled under Stalin, are brought back to colonize living space drenched in blood. France is a puppet state, its culture systematically Germanized. The Louvre, filled with looted art labeled Aryan masterpieces. The Eiffel Tower, topped with a giant swastika that lights up at night. Hitler's dream megacity replaces Berlin. Below it, a network of slave tunnels dug by Soviet prisoners of war. With Europe subdued, the world divides into three blocks. The Greater Germanic Reich, Europe, Africa, half of Russia. The American Sphere, North America, barely democratic in a tense détente. The Japanese co-prosperity sphere, Asia, now a brutal imperial playground. Nuclear tests begin in 1947, not in New Mexico, but in occupied Norway. By 1955, both sides have ICBMs pointed at each other. The doomsday clock is permanently at 11:59. School children start their day with the Hitler salute. Math problems? If one train leaves Munich carrying 500 Jews and another leaves Frankfurt carrying 300, calculate when they'll reach Auschwitz. Hollywood is now UFA West, pumping out propaganda films like Triumph of the Will 2 Electric Boogaloo. The biggest star, Leni Riefenstahl's 10-hour epic The Eternal Reich. You do get cool gadgets, rocket cars, jetpacks in, but only if you're ethnically pure. Everyone else, either sterilized or working in underground factories. Even dictators die. Hitler's 1956 death sparks a power struggle. Hitler's SS tries a coup. Göring's Luftwaffe bombs Berlin. The Reich fractures into warlord states, each more fanatical than the last. In the Alps, partisans still fight. In Scotland, a rebel radio station broadcasts, "This is Radio Free Europe," if anyone's still listening. The internet? Censored by AI trained on Goebbels' propaganda. Your DNA scanned at birth for racial purity? Thankfully, none of this happened. The Allies won, Hitler died like a coward in a bunker. And the only Reich we deal with now is Kingdom Hearts lore. So was a Nazi victory possible? Technically, yes. Would it have sucked? Absolutely. Let's all take a moment to thank our grandparents for not failing us. And if you enjoyed this dystopian joyride, smash that like button, or else the Ministry of YouTube Engagement will send the SS, the Social Security Office, after you.